Greetings Game Watchers and welcome to the review of the Mean Greens Plastic Warfare. First let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. Why the hell is this not called Army Men? Was the license too expensive or something? Why didn't developer Virtual Basement reach out to the rights holders and get it instead of giving their name the terrible title of the Mean Greens Plastic Warfare? Not least because the Green Army guys aren't actually any different from the Tans or the Pinks or whatever. They're certainly not any meaner. There's no single player to make them the good guys. Anyway, the Mean Greens Superfluous subtitle is a multiplayer only, online only shooter where you play as plastic, definitely not army men toys across 10 maps where every map is a different mode. Levels are built around the still novel idea of waging war around a normal house as a tiny soldier, with levels taking place in such amusing locales as a kitchen, bathtub, football table, fish tank and a constantly moving toy train at Christmas. 10 modes across 10 maps, and 6 weapons, that's your lot. The first thing you'll notice about the Mean Greens is the price you just paid for it. $10.99 or $14.99 depending on which country you're coming from. That's an absolute bargain compared to recent released full price multiplayer only titles like Star Wars Battlefront and Rainbow Six Siege, especially considering both of those games were criticised for not having enough content. You can argue the same for the Mean Greens, except it's a quarter the price of those games, making it far more acceptable, and 10 maps is currently more than Battlefront has. The Mean Greens is pure online simplicity, for better or worse. One map for each mode, you carry the 6 weapons with you from the start, there's no single player campaign, no pickups, no perspective other than third person, no loadouts, no stats, no weapon upgrades, no character classes, no XP, no leveling up, no customization, and no women. The last one at least makes sense because it's army men, actually no, wait a minute, it's the Mean Greens, isn't it? So why the hell isn't there some avatar customization here guys? This is online multiplayer at its most straightforward and basic, and while it's refreshing at first, I worry about the game's longevity. If you played one game on a map in the Mean Greens, you've played them all. So after 10 matches, you've literally seen everything the game has to offer. Simplicity is fun for newcomers, but that's to be something more to keep people really playing. Maps and modes are also very simple, well for the most part. Variations on deathmatch, capture the flag, domination and the like. Sometimes there's multiple flags such as the level set in a bathtub, and the birthday bash is a king over the hill type scenario set on a huge birthday cake where it took me ages to realise that I was expected to light the candles using a sustained burst of the flamethrower. There's also an actual king of the hill battle set in a toy box, but the birthday one's more interesting once you work it out. The highlight is probably Barnyard Ball, a game of lethal football set inside a barnyard themed table football table. It can be incredibly difficult to score with players shooting at you from all angles, not to mention the giant football players blocking half your shots, but it's lots of fun. I just wish there was more levels for it. The level design is one of the highlights, at least in appearance rather than gameplay. Each level is based around a common household feature like a kitchen or a bath, and then gloriously imagined in Unreal Engine 4. The popping soap bubbles in the sink in Kitchen Run, the bouncing jellies in Operation Birthday, the lovely underwater shimmer in Fish Tank Frenzy, all wonderful little details that add lots of character to the Mean Greens. I just wish there was more of them and that gameplay worked just as well. Most of the maps end up with some sort of hideous choke point that don't allow anyone to progress. Off the Rails is a game of domination set over one long linear line of command points with no possible shortcuts, which is the dumbest idea ever, especially as you respawn right at the start every time and there's no way of really pushing up. Bathtub Bash requires collecting flags but also requires riding a slow moving tiny duck past the enemy respawn point to do so, and consequently I was killed every single time I tried. Most of the maps are just too confined to be really fun, and I don't think giving one map for every mode was the right call. For example, if I like Domination but hate Off the Rails, which I do, I can't play Domination at all. As for the systems in place, the first great news is that there's a server browser list, and you can change teams in a lobby. Hooray! Suck on that, Star Wars Battlefront. The bad news is that Join Game on the main menu is useless, and there's currently no way of hiding full games on the server list, yet. There's a decent player base so far though, and I've never really had a problem finding a game on a particular map. Keeping connected to it is another matter. Literally 3 times out of 5 I'll get kicked immediately because the game's full, the match has ended, or I lost connection for no apparent reason. So it's really potluck whether you'll get into a game or not. The guns themselves are a bit floaty and unsatisfying, with the default assault rifle being the weapon of choice for 90% of encounters unless you're a devil with a shotgun. Grenades are terrible, so's the flamethrower, and the less said about the sniper rifle the better. which will either work or it won't. I like that the rocket launcher only has one shot though. One area which I unequivocally love is the soundtrack by Gareth Coker, Zach Lemon and Alexander Rudd, which is immensely catchy and toe-tapping. There's a great bombastic theme tune which weaves itself into most of the songs, but each of those is a great tune in their own right. The Happy 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 Birthday song is my personal highlight, although I also love the Christmas themed Off the Rails music, and the Ride of the Valkyries-esque Bathtub Bash song. The Mean Greens is one of the simplest multiplayer games ever, with about quarter the depth of the already puddle-thin Star Wars Battlefront, and yet for a quick blast now and again, that type of game is totally fine. There's no campaign, customization, loadouts, power-ups, upgrades or women, with only one map per mode and a few of those aren't much fun, and yet the style, soundtrack, straightforwardness and tiny soldiers and a big house motif is infectious. And a great antidote to all the shooters these days that take themselves too seriously. It's hard to play more than a couple of matches without wanting to see what else is on your hard drive, but sometimes this is all you want from a multiplayer game, and it's only £10.99, that is. Next time though guys, get the Army Men license. It'll probably be even cheaper than this game. I gave the Mean Greens Plastic Warfare a good score of 7.0. Thanks for watching all, Chris Capel and GameWatcher out. Thanks for watching again guys. If you enjoyed the review, you can help us out by subscribing to our YouTube channel, checking out our Twitter feed, and of course visiting GameWatcher.com for all your PC gaming needs.